Looks like we've got a big storm coming here, and I'm just holding this by my hand while I walk. Just going to go into the car for a second to look for something, but I think I lost a part, but there's definitely something going on in Australia. Number one, no, I've definitely lost it. It's definitely not here. So, I've got a big problem with employment here. Seek.com. Luckily, I know somebody who's actually works there and can give me some feedback on something. That is that on average, there's about some jobs. I'm on the Gold Coast, and this person was telling me about about 1,000 applicants on average for most jobs. Some jobs, it's like they're getting 5,000 applicants. And imagine being a HR person having to go through them all. Well, the matter of the fact is, most of them don't go through them all, but that doesn't matter. There's a couple of things that I think are going to be very necessary for people to skill up. Number one, they're going to have to offer something more to the businesses. Let me give you a really good example of something that popped up about a month ago. And this person has now become very successful in their current job. The person was discussing with me that one of their jobs is in administration, is to answer emails. And a lot of these emails that they're getting were quite regular, repeating a lot of information. And it was also causing a lot of problems for their work. Now, they don't have KPIs to work with. It's basically a situation where who's this? Don't know. Where they've got a lot of, they say the boss doesn't know what they're doing. When you're just answering the emails, how's it all going? What are people saying? And this was a little bit of a problem. So I worked with her and I built her an AI agent, $15 a day. Now what it does is she's able to put all the information into her personal agent, all the email queries, then the replies, but also the agent can give the best reply based on the information that's being fed through the AI. And that's from the websites and some other documentation that is available to her. And what happens is that this agent that I made, and again, it's $15 a day, she enters all the emails into it that's ever been received, and it filters and edits these emails. Oh, it's raining. And it becomes a spreadsheet, or a CSV, of detailed information about every single client interaction. And here's some other cool things she was able to do with this. Is this AI engine that I built her was then able to basically give predictions about what people will be asking about in the future. Also, what the business should concentrate on. But also, it gave the best possible response based on the publicly available business information. And when she showed her boss the spreadsheet, he was quite amazed. He said, "Oh, you have done, this is fantastic work you've done, thank you." And two bosses, male and female, but she said that one of them, the male one, was there that day, and he said it's absolutely fantastic work. But this is what people are going to have to do if they want to stay employed, especially coming up to next year, is that the world is changing. The big companies can afford $10 million a month AI systems. Small businesses can't, for obvious reasons. But what small businesses can do is develop smaller AI agents that may not be obtrusively in their applications and part of their current business systems, because those inputs take millions and millions of dollars. But with a few simple copy and pastes and clicks here and there, they can get incredible information about the customers, the interactions, what the company should be focused on, what the company should be looking at for the future. And as the information can be fed up to the decision makers in the business, and that employee will become, indispensable. Now, this is why I say also is that the AI agents should not just be for the bosses to implement, it should be for the staff as well. Because it's going to help with their job and complement their job, make them more important. And if you're more important, then when the companies that are going to be able to come in and say, we can replace one person in your office with AI, and it costs you 10% of the salary of that person, businesses are going to have to think secondly if somebody's already involved in some aspect. So we have to be careful when think about what's going to be happening in a year or maybe the year after. What's going on over there? It's going to be a really strange environment for staff who may have been there for a couple of years, because they're not going to be able to handle the fact that the decision makers in a year or two will suddenly start thinking about AI and adopting it. And it is already happening at a snail's pace in Australia, but it is happening. Around the world, other parts of the world, it's happening. And it's, as we've just seen, Oracle have replaced 20,000 people with AI. Imagine an office that's already struggling with 10 staff and they can replace 2 of them with AI. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. But I believe right now for staff, they can take the initiative and start to do things for themselves. And as I said, it's only going to cost a few dollars a day. But they're going to be able to become a much more important asset, because they're going to know how to use AI. Yes, somebody will create the agent for you and they'll give you instructions on how to use it, but at least you'll be using it. Instead of it's going to hit you really hard when the boss walks in and says, we need to use AI today. No one knows what's going on. Now, I better check the time. I got to speak to the orphanage in Cambodia in about an hour. Kids are learning programming. Yeah, cool. But what's what I think is there's also some other things that you can do now. If you can use this AI agent for data entry, for email entry, for email information entry, client information entry, you can actually also do this for others. Here's what I say for anybody who's currently employed and who doesn't own the company in an administrative role. All right, maybe be on your toes a little bit. Let's have a look for a second. That looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Very nice. Nice little park here. Maybe you should be on your toes and maybe try to get a little bit ahead of the curve. Here's what I'd recommend. Number one, if you've got an ABN, get a Google business profile. Start offering things that an AI agent can do, such as data entry, building custom client reports, customer reports, customer query spreadsheets. These are also really good. Keeping up to date with the products and services people are asking about in specific industries. It's very important. Just the other day, I built one for somebody who's a real estate agent. What they wanted to do is take down customer query information, customer queries on the suburbs. So we built an AI matrix engine for basically using government data to build a report for individual suburbs based on the client's specific requests. Everybody, you know, safety and security are a little bit different for everybody. But we were able to do that. And that person was then able to walk into another real estate agent and sell it to them. And so the AI agent itself costs about $15 a day. To do this, they're charging like $15 a report plus GST, and they say they're selling 6 or 7 a day. So maybe I should be selling the report directly, but that would be a little bit unethical, I think. And also it means that less people are employed, and I don't like that. But you're going to have to make yourself valuable to not just the business you're in, but also for potential future opportunities, and make those available. So get the Google business profile sorted out. Your booking form can actually be the AI agent that can talk about what you can do, and might walk back now. What you can do, some of the functions that we can build into your AI agent, and you can start doing those. A little bit loud, isn't it? But here's the thing. And we'll just go back to the AI agent for email, for client information retention and detailed descriptions and summaries of clients' requests and information, and et cetera, et cetera. So copy and pasting an email or even your customer themselves, just giving you a Word document with all this information. It gets processed by the AI, built into a beautiful spreadsheet. Okay, you can start offering this to other businesses, not just in your industry, but in other industries as well. It may have to be a different spreadsheet for different industries, and that's fine. But you may have just become important and valuable to a dozen other businesses. And it's taking you 1 minute per entry, maybe 2 minutes per entry. And you can make, maybe a day's full of emails, charge $9. Maybe it takes you two minutes to do it, and they give you $9 plus GST. So do it. That would be a pretty awesome gig if you could get it. But there are businesses out there already doing it. If you go to Seek, data entry, there's a lot of jobs there. Just write a job application letter saying that you can do this, you know, remotely. And many people are doing that. In fact, I was in Bangkok until last year. I met hundreds of people who were doing remote working. I used to go to True Digital Park when I was working at universities teaching digital transformation. I would actually have meetings of business people and students interested in digital transformation. We would get together, and also just the seminars, and also product showcases and conventions and those kind of things. But I met hundreds of people who were already doing remote work. And at that time, actually, just to let you know, just that time, there wasn't so much AI. It was a little bit of a different environment than it even is today. It's changed a fair bit. And but I'm pretty sure now that the people remote working in Bangkok are all now using AI to do a lot of this work. Because I've spoken to a few of them and they've said, please build this agent. No problem. And you can start doing this yourself, becoming more valuable to more people, to more business owners, and start your own business. And as I said, Google Business Profile is awesome. The updates there are fantastic. There's a booking form that people do not use for some reason. I'll get that working. And you know, I met a lot of people doing it. But at least you're already in the door now. And you don't have to learn how to make the AI. That's for somebody else to do. That's why you go to an AI management service. And you can start getting involved so that when it comes time to hear the talk from your boss, where everybody has to sit in the room and listen to the boss go, yeah, look, we're struggling for efficiency and productivity, we need to introduce AI, you know. Instead of them looking at potentially cutting you, you may already introduce it and already have things worked out. So I don't think it's going to be a matter of the big businesses doing it. They're going to wait until the absolute, in Australia, they wait until they're at the absolute last end of the adoption curve. But then you're going to be ahead of it. They're going to look at you as being the kind of person they need. And you go, yeah, sure, I can assist. Hopefully I can get it bumped up to manager or something. And I'm starting to see that's happening. Medical receptionist, a legal clerk, medical receptionist. There was a clerical assistant to two plumbers in Roma, Queensland. How about that? Roma, beautiful. I had to Google Roma and check out images, look beautiful. Can't wait to go there. Because everywhere you go in this country, it's beautiful. Large industrial product distributor with branches in every single state in Australia. I think they've got one in Darwin as well, but not in ACT. I don't have one in Tasmania, so sorry, not in every state. But it's starting to happen. And those people that now say, okay, I can do this, they're gonna be ahead of the curve for next year. Because while they're not gonna know how to make it, they're going to know how to use it and how it can be used for business functions. I mean, the kind of information that I receive on my spreadsheets, I can predict what's gonna happen next week. Because again, I built an AI agent that takes all the queries I get. Then it also reads news articles about what's coming up and what people are interested in. And I use a scoring system to say this is probably what people are going to be talking about next week when they send messages. And that's going to work. So at the end of this, I'm going to put the admin assistant AI agent information. Read it. It's going to be very valuable. And you can look, and even if you're staff, you can purchase it, start using it for yourself. You can go to ask your boss, can you give me an extra $15 a day to do this? Because it's going to happen in this country. And I understand here in Australia, we're more concerned about the bureaucracy, rules, regulations on everything, because we do have extremely high amount of laws, rules, procedures, protocols set by government, state, federal, local, compared to other countries. Yes, absolutely. Especially after living in Japan, where you think, well, that's a red tape country. Well, not compared to Australia, not anymore. It's much more streamlined over there. Australia is just turning it on. But that's what's the big concern in Australia at the moment. More than, I think productivity is coming in second and efficiency is coming in a little bit later, because you have to, the most important is always the one that can cause the most crises, and the biggest crisis that can be caused in Australia is absolutely government red tape, bureaucracy, all that kind of stuff. So I can understand why people are a little bit slow to picking it all up and to adopting it, but it's going to hit really hard, because that's what's happened everywhere else. And when I was in Thailand at Slipatum University, I introduced the whole AI agent. G'day, how you doing? I introduced the AI agency into their system for international students. They had been talking about it for like 3 years. But then when it was time, they said now. And it was a bit of a difficult learning curve for everybody involved, because the decision makers themselves don't have to use it. So there is that, I think there is some lack of understanding, but when it does occur that they need it, they will introduce it at a speed rate that means some people won't be able to pick it up. And so, do you think Oracle knocked off 20,000 people who couldn't use the AI? No, they would have fired the people that they knew would not be able to adapt. And that's going to happen. Look, that's happening in Meta as well. It's happened in many countries. I think the Pew and Gallup polls recently about AI looking that most businesses are looking to introduce it in the next year or two. And it's definitely going to be something that everyone's going to have to somehow get some knowledge of. And so getting in the door now is going to be more important than waiting and waiting and waiting, because when that happens, it's going to be a tougher market for you, because then you've got to learn all the skills, and there'll be people out there with those skills already. ready to go. And so it's very important to get your Google business profile organized, start using AI, start offering other services, talk to people about it, talk to your boss about it, show them what you're able to do with it, and stay ahead of the curve, and I think everyone will be all right. All right, I better go. Have a good day, good people. Bye for now.